Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be recreating a makeup look that was created by Milk1422 on Instagram. I was going through his page and I saw this image and I was completely inspired to do it. I thought it was so beautiful and I really loved the space galaxy vibes that it was giving. So I decided to recreate that for you guys today. So without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. We're going to be starting off with the eyes today, so I'm going to zoom you guys in so that you can really see what I'm doing. I already went ahead and did my eyebrows off of camera. I also primed my lids with some concealer and applied some setting powder. I also went ahead and applied a little bit of concealer underneath my lower lash line because I'm also going to be doing that as well. Going into the Master Palette by Mario first, I'm going to dip into the shade Lula, which is this one right here. I'm going to be taking that shade on my Morphe M441 brush. It looks like this. So I'm just going to apply that directly into the crease. This is going to act as our transition color for this look. So from what I could see in the photo, the crease looks pretty much gray and the only pops of color there is on the lid. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in with this color first and then add some dimension with another palette here in a second. So first, just adding this shade into our crease using windshield wiper motions, just making sure that we get that color on there nicely. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat the exact same thing onto the other eye. For this particular eye look, I'm pretty much going to keep the eye shape rounded and I'm not going to extend it out like I normally do with my eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go into the Morphe 35C palette. I'm not sure if they still make this palette anymore, but if they don't, then just use similar shades that you can find in your collection. I'm going to go into this shade right here on an e.l.f. crease brush. So I'm going to just take that eyeshadow and brush it into the crease using windshield wiper motions. The purpose of this eyeshadow is just to pretty much give the eye some depth. I'm going to add some to the outer corner as well. I'm going to go back into the first brush that we used and just diffuse those edges and make sure that those two colors are nicely blended together. Going back into the Mario palette, taking the shade Lula once again on this Zoeva 231 brush, I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. Now on a Morphe M431, which is this pencil brush right here, I'm going to go back into the shade that we used from the 35C palette. Then jumping back to the first brush and just diffusing those edges out. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the crease. Now we're going to go ahead and do the lid. For the lid, it looks like he used a combination of purples and blues. So we're going to start off with darker purples on the outer corner and then ombre those shades inwards, going from darker purple to lighter purple into blue and then a lighter blue. Now I'm going to go into my Morphe 35B palette. Again, I'm not sure if they make this palette anymore, but I'm going to go into this dark purple shade right here and apply that to the outer corner of my eye. On this Zoeva 227 brush, I'm going to take that purple shade and apply it to the outer corner of my eye. I'm just going to stamp it on the outer corner. Once I stamp most of that product on there, I'm just going to move my brush back and forth to blend out that color. I'm going to pick a little bit more up on my brush, stamp it onto the eye first, making sure I get all that pigment off of my brush and onto my lid, and then doing back and forth motions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to this eye now. So now once that purple is laid down, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the lighter purple in the palette and apply that right next to that eyeshadow that we just laid down. So I just went in with this shade, now I'm going to go in with this shade. I'm going to just flip my brush over and use this side. Using the same technique, I'm just going to pat and then blend it back and forth. So for some reason this color is a little bit patchy. It's not really giving me any pigment in this area of my eye, which I find to be a little bit strange. So now I'm just going to flip it over and then just blend the two colors together. Do you guys see that? It's like not really getting a lot of color in that particular area right there. This purple does not want to show up on my skin. Okay, I'm going to try the other eye and see if it's giving me that exact same issue. If it is, it's probably just the eyeshadow color itself. Yeah. It's pretty much giving me the exact same issue on the other eye. I'm going to take this purple shade instead from the Morphe 12P palette. Hopefully this one works. I'm going to go ahead and pat over that. Okay, yeah, this one seems to be a lot better. I'm going to go back into that dark purple shade and apply that to the outer corner to try and blend these two shades together. So now that I have my purples laid down, I'm going to go ahead and move into the blue. For the blue, I'm going to use this one right here from the Morphe 35B palette. It's the only shimmery blue eyeshadow in the palette, so I think I'm going to use that. On this Wet n Wild flat concealer brush, I'm going to take that blue and apply it to the inner corner. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat this over top of that purple. I'm going to go in with my finger because that brush isn't really damping the pigment on there nicely. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that blue and bring it into the purple. I think I'm going to go over top of that original purple that we put on with a different one because I'm not really liking how it's still very patchy. So I think it's just that Morphe purple eyeshadow that's not working very well. But this blue is working very, very beautifully. Before I go into that purple, I'm going to be taking this little Flirt Cosmetics eyeshadow in the shade Work or Twerk, and I'm going to go into the blue that's in this pan and apply that to the inner corner of the eye. And I also really like that it's a very metallic blue, so I think it's really going to work well. With a different Flirt Cosmetics eyeshadow duo, this one is in the shade Ride or Die. I'm going to go into the purple with my finger, and I'm just going to go over that first purple that we put down. I'm going to go back into that blue from the Morphe palette and apply that over top to try and blend the purple and the blue together. I'm just using my fingers because I'm finding it to be a bit easier than using brushes. And personally, when I'm working with really metallic shadows, I prefer to use my fingers rather than a brush because I feel like a brush sometimes doesn't give off the pigmentation as well as like your fingers would. So I'm just going back and alternating between these two colors, the blue and the purple, just trying to blend it nicely. So this is pretty much what the eye should be looking like for now. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. So from the photo, it appears that she has a lot of black underneath the lower lash line, so it's very smoky. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take some eyeliner and apply some black eyeliner to my waterline. And I'm also going to take some of that and run it over here to the lower lash line as well. Going back into this pencil brush, I'm going to go back into this shade that we used initially. I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the lower lash line to help blend out some of that black eyeliner. Now on a flat liner brush, I'm going to go into the black from this palette, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that really close to the lash line and really smoke it out. Going into my Zoeva 231 blending brush, I'm just going to use this to diffuse the edges. Looking at the reference photo, they pretty much take the black all the way to the inner corner and really just smoke that out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well, bringing that into the inner corner and then smoking it out. Going back in with that flat liner brush that has that black shade on it, and I'm just going to buff that. Going back into this blue eyeshadow, I'm just going to take that and apply it to the outer corner and then dragging it underneath the black. So pretty much just like that. I'm also going to take some of the purple and run that right next to it, kind of connecting the two together and then bringing that purple into the black. So now that I'm pretty much done with that, I think I'm going to add a little bit of glitter. The glitter that I'm going to be taking is from the brand Eye Candy, and I'm going to be using 3 different colors. I'm going to be using this purple one right here called Tiny Tart, this dark blue one right here, this is in the shade Berry Blast, and then this like blue one in the shade Spearmint. So I'm going to just go ahead and mix all those 3 together and then just lightly apply like a dusting of it over the lid to give it that sparkle. Because from the reference photo, you can see that there's like a shine right there. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the center of the lid. I'm going to first try applying it dry and see if it sticks. And now I'm just going to take some on my finger and see if I can just stamp it on there. Yes, it worked. I'm going to go ahead and apply my mascara and falsies off of camera, and I'll be right back so that we can finish off the look. The lashes that I used are the Flutter Lashes in Intoxicating. So now that the eyes are done, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the foundation. For foundation, I'm going to be taking a combination of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 220 and the Cover FX Power Play Foundation in the shade G30. I'm also going to use that foundation as my concealer as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cream contour. For cream contour, I'm going to be taking the Fit Me foundation stick in the shade 330. On my Real Techniques Duo Fiber contouring brush, I'm just going to apply it straight onto the brush and then just stipple that on my cheeks. To set everything in place, I'm going to be taking the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Loose Setting Powder. I use the shade Translucent Light. To contour my cheeks, I'm going to be taking the BH Cosmetics contouring palette and going into this shade right here on my Morphe M530 brush. Now going into the BH Cosmetics Nude Blush Palette, I'm going to take this shade right here and apply some of that to the apples of my cheeks. So I'm going to go back into that Zoeva 231 blending brush and I'm just going to buff out the lower lash line just a little bit to blend it into the concealer, just so that there's no harsh lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply a bunch of mascara to the lower lashes. If I had falsies for my lower lash line, I would definitely apply those, but I don't. So I'm just going to really pack on the mascara on the lower lash line. Alrighty, you guys, we are near the end of the makeup look. So now the only thing that's left to do is apply our lips and highlight. From the picture, it looks like they applied a very intense highlight to the bridge of the nose as well as to the Cupid's bow. So I think I'm going to go in with the liquid highlight for that. I'm going to try and use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector liquid in the shade Opal. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the back of my hand and then I'm going to go into a little brush, and hopefully this shade isn't too dark. So I'm just going to take some and apply it to the very tip of my nose. And we want a very intense highlight, so I think that looks good. And then I'm going to apply some to the bridge of my nose. So I'm just going to take some and bring it straight down and then just pat it in place. And then I'm going to set it with the most intense highlight that I have, which is this one right here from Anastasia. This is the Amrezy and Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight. This was limited edition, but it is going to be coming back in stock very soon. So if you didn't get a chance to get it the first time, definitely go to Anastasia's Instagram or Amrezy's Instagram to figure out when it's going to be back in stock. So on this little brush right here, I'm just going to go ahead and dip in and then just set that highlight in place and really make it beam. That is the most intense nose highlight I have ever had in my entire life. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the Cupid's bow. He highlighted these little creases right here. Go ahead and draw those out with the cream first, then blend them out with my finger, and then also the very tip of the Cupid's bow. Now going back in with that brush and just setting everything in place. So now that that's highlighted, I'm going to apply this same highlight to my cheekbones without the liquid. So I'm not going to put the liquid, I'm just going to go straight in with the highlight. This highlight is so intense, it's like beautiful. I'm going to just go back in with my blush brush and blend out any of the edges. Okay, so I changed my mind. I removed the lipstick because I didn't like it. So I'm going to go into the NYX Cosmetics Nude Beige Lip Liner and just line my lips with that. Then I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade 55 and apply this all over the lips. So I'm going to go ahead and let that lipstick dry down. Once it's dried down, I'm going to go over top with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee. This is pretty much the end of the video, you guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on that bell notification to be notified every time I upload a new video. If you have any video suggestions that you would like to see here on my channel, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!